Okay, there we go. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm going to share this link with everyone on my Discord. Because I have to post a new link. I don't know what happened with the first link. That's actually never happened to me. That was really weird. And then I'm going to post it to my Telegram as well. If you guys want to join the trading group, link to join is in the description. If you guys are watching on YouTube, if you click the watermark on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see the link to my YouTube page. And then from there, you can click the Patreon. So let's get started. That was kind of weird. I don't know what that was all about. That was kind of bizarre. But thank you guys for stopping by. Hit the like and subscribe. It does help support the channel. And we're going to see what's going on in the charts. Let me just make sure the sound is working on YouTube, and then we can look at this. Right now, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is currently coming in at 38. So we are currently in fear, and we've been in fear for quite some time now. So that is currently where we're sitting in fear. So just be cautious. That is what's going on. I would actually I wouldn't be that cautious. I'd be buying more crypto and more assets in this time. And that's what I'm doing. I bought more Bitcoin today. So I would just be, that's just what I'd be doing right now. So you usually want to be buying when people are fearful, and you want to be selling when we're in extreme greed. You want to be doing the opposite of what most people are doing, and that is how you're going to make most of your money in the market. So we'll see what's going on in the charts, but that is kind of my update for that. So I did long Bitcoin earlier today at $84,632. I longed it because a few reasons. We were above the 200-day moving average on the smaller time frames. We're above it on the 4-hour time frame. We're in this a pattern that is called an ascending triangle. That's when you get the same tops several times over, but then you make higher lows. These break up 68% of the time to the upside. The measure move of this ascending triangle is about $89,000. I'd be taking profits a little bit early. My take profit is $88,600. We'll see what happens. So this is my current take profit right there, and we'll see if we can get there. My stop loss on this trade is 82,726 at the bottom of this pattern. But really, if you want to, and I could, before I go to bed, I'll probably move my stop loss below that last wick here at 84,200. But overall, which is basically just under break even, but overall, that's what I see going on. Bitcoin looks like it does want to get that move to the upside. One of Bookmap's channels, I want to go over to Bookmap and see where the liquidity is at on Bitcoin. One of Bookmap's channels did get suspended. So now this is a little bit of a different look for Bookmap, but it still does the same thing. It's just a little bit harder to read. You can see that there's more liquidity up here, 85,600. And so there's more liquidity to the upside on Bookmap, suggesting you get a small move up. I mean, that's nothing crazy. That's only a few $100s higher. But again, Bitcoin does look bullish to me. So on the 15-minute time frame, we are overbought on our side. On the half-hour time frame, we're overbought. But again, you're above key moving averages. You're above the 200-day moving average, which on my chart is this thin yellow line. And whenever we're above that, we pump, usually. So the 4-hour time frame is also above that key moving average. So then, if you break the 200 on the 4-hour to the upside, then usually you go visit the 200 on the 6-hour. That is currently and you're above that. That's coming in at 84.4. If you break it on the 6-hour, I look for the 8-hour to get above the 200-day moving average, and that is currently coming in at 87.4. That's really the next step I see Bitcoin going would be $87,400. Now, granted, we are overbought on the 8-hour time frame, but we're sitting above support at 84.8. And to me right now, Bitcoin does look like it is trying to get a move to the upside out of this ascending triangle. So to me, I'm long on Bitcoin, and I see more coming for Bitcoin. The 12-hour time frame, again, that I'm also looking for the 12-hour to get to the 200, and that's coming in at 91.8. So in due time, I think that will happen. That might not be this week, but in due time, I think 91. I believe the bottom is in for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. I could be wrong. The daily time frame is overbought. The 2-day time frame is overbought, and the 3-day is overbought. I did talk about on the last live stream how the 4-day was looking very bullish to me. And that is still the case, although you're getting overbought pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens. But I'm starting to really like what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, the higher time frames are kind of looking not so great, but the smaller time frames still have momentum in them, I do believe. So again, I see sometime in the next day or two a move to 88.6, and that is why I'm long on Bitcoin. That is my take profit. So to me, I'm calling for a move to the upside here on Bitcoin, but we will see what will happen. Anything's possible. as long as you stay above these key moving averages, especially in the 4-hour time frame, I have to remain bullish on Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin stays above 83.5, I remain bullish on the 4-hour time frame. As long as you stay above 84.5, I stay bullish on the 15-minute time frame. So we'll see what happens, but to me, it looks very good for a move up. Also, I kind of see, and I see a W pattern here as well, which is another bullish pattern. These break up just like M patterns break down 70% of the time. These break up about 70% of the time. So again, that's a W pattern, and again, that's a very bullish pattern. You take it from the last high to the last local low, and you would get the last wick high was 85.7, the last local low, but right before that was 84.1, and then you would get your measure move out of this W pattern all the way basically to my target, or to my first target is 86.7. So we'll see what happens. It looks like Bitcoin does want to continue up here, but 30% of the time these fail. So I'm long on Bitcoin. I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But again, I'm bullish on Bitcoin right now, even though we are kind of extended on these time frames. Just because you overbought doesn't mean you have to dump. So that's what I see going on. If Bitcoin pumps, a lot of altcoins will go up as well. Again, another altcoin that I am long on, and I'll do requests after this for other altcoins, but I am long currently on ACH. I just opened this long. I told my trading group, hey, I see ACH going up. I said that half hour ago. And ACH right now in this bull pennant here with a measure move of 32.4 cents, with my stop loss being 26.2. So we'll see what happens. My stop loss is right below this last local wick here. So you could really say that you have one support here on the smaller time frames, and then my stop loss is below the second support. So we'll see what happens. But to me, I see if Bitcoin pumps, ACH is going to follow. So again, both of these look very probable for a win. But anything's possible. Always use a stop loss. But right now, the trend is up. The trend is your friend until the end. I like to say that. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. But that's what I see going on for Bitcoin. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll look at them. But that's what I see going on for Bitcoin. If you guys want to watch us on YouTube, link to join, it's Crypto Angel 333. That way you can see the entire screen. So I would recommend you go over there and check that out. But that's what I see going on for ACH. There were a few other altcoins. It looks like to me, OM is trying to form some kind of bottom after that capitulation. It was down 90% yesterday. I don't know if you guys knew, but there was some really bearish news. I think the team sold 90% of their tokens, but the market cap was $3 billion. Now it's much less. But to me, you will be trying to look for a bottom here. The 2-hour time frame is overbought. The 3-hour time frame, the 3-hour time frame has gas to get another bounce to the upside. A lot of these time frames are just very, 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 very oversold. The daily's oversold. The 2 days oversold. The 3 days oversold. Weekly's oversold. So at some point, OM can't keep going down forever. And I would really be looking for a bottom here on OM very, very soon. Now, I would say this, though. If you take out 37 cents, that last capitulation low, your next support's all the way down here at basically 20 cents. So OM really must hold these levels. If you don't do it, it's probably over for this asset. But again, it's so oversold. I would expect some kind of bounce here on the smaller time frames. Yes, the 15's overbought, but again, you look at the 4-hour time frame, that's very oversold. What you don't want to see here on OM is like some kind of descending triangle. On Bitcoin, we see an ascending triangle that's trying to pump here. And these are bullish patterns, but OM now to me, if you don't take out this high here at 64 cents, OM is going to form a descending triangle, and then you have a measured move even lower. And this suggests if you can't break 64 cents, OM really could be heading back down to that support at 36 cents, 36.2. So OM if you don't get above 64 cents, that's very bearish. So you could open, not financial advice, but I'm just saying, you could open up a short here on OM, stop loss above 64 cents, above this wick here at 64.3 really. And then if you don't hit that, it's very likely that you would have eventually, if you go sideways long enough, you're going to dump to 36.2, 36 cents, 37 cents would be an okay place for a take profit. 38 cents would be an okay place for a take profit. A little bit higher than the measured move is not a bad idea. But I mean, to me, OM right now must break 64.3. If you can't do that, I do see more downside on OM. If you do not break even 64 cents, I see more downside on OM. Yeah, that's just not looking good. And that's a possible short brewing here on OM that I didn't even see right now. I didn't see that. So OM looks like if you don't break 64, it's gonna get even uglier in my maybe then you go for some kind of double bottom on OM. If the price action gets more of a dump here, we'll see what happens. You'd have to make some kind of massive double bottom. This doesn't look fantastic to me. The longer that I stare at this chart, the more bearish it looks. You'd have to hope for some kind of double bottom here on OM if you do get the dump back to 37 cents. To me, obviously, just like I said, the trend is up for Bitcoin, so that's another reason I went long. The trend for OM is down. You're below key moving averages, and while that's the case, I wouldn't be longing this unless you're doing scalps or something. Overall, right now, OM does look like it actually looks pretty bearish to me. So, it's been a good training. I was trading this morning. I made some good profits on the short here. I believe it was this candle. I took a short here. I posted that to my trading group as well. And I made very good money in my trades today. So we'll see what happens. I posted basically all of them to the trading group. But yeah, that's just OM looks pretty bearish if you can't crack 64 cents. And 64 cents is so close, you could that'd be a pretty tight stop loss. So it's a pretty safe trade. We'll see what happens. Let's go to the 5 minute, see what's going on the 5 minute. You could easily get back above 64 cents. It wouldn't be hard at all, but you must break 64 cents. Otherwise, it's just not good. So if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. But that's what I see going on. Thank you for the follow and for the single like on TikTok. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'd be watching tonight. And then I guess for the more bullish scenario on OM is that you get a move back above 64 cents. Now, if you break 64 cents to the upside, I would then look for a long on OM. But until you're above 64 cents, I would not be interested in a long. And it looks like maybe you get right back above it in a few minutes here. I'm not taking a short on this just yet, but you must break 64 cents on OM. So, and then I guess if you break 64 cents, where would the next resistance be to the upside? Well, when you came down, you didn't have a lot of support. So really the next resistance, I guess, would probably be this wick high here at $1.34, and that's a double up in price action. So you'd be pretty bullish actually above 64 cents. Below it, you're very bearish. That's a key level, I would say. And actually, at this point, if you stay below 64 cents long enough, that could become weekly resistance. So that's a big swing point change. Like if you're above it, you're bullish. If you're below it, you could be looking for shorts. So I'll leave it at that. But that's kind of the biggest price action or level to watch. I'd watch on OM. And yeah. So ACH trade kind of struggling. You got the move, though. You got the wick at 28 cents, and then you got rejected. That's a higher high, only to get right back into the pattern. So to me, ACH right now still long, but that's I don't love to see that. It looked very good there for a few minutes there, and then you got almost a rejection at 28 cents. So ACH right now, still long on ACH, still long on Bitcoin, only my two current trades, but ACH really right now, must hold this higher low here at 26.5. So anyways, guys, if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know. I don't know why my YouTube thing was kind of messed up, so I had to make a new link. I'm not quite sure what happened with that. So, but anyways, so I'm long on ACH right now out of this bull pennant. I'm long on Bitcoin right now. It's taken forever to do anything. I've been long on Bitcoin all day long. I'll probably keep my trade open on Bitcoin overnight. But I do see more upside coming for these assets. Now, Bitcoin might get a very small cool down here on the smaller time frames. But again, I'm looking for more upside based on the higher time frames, being above the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame. That's really why I opened the trade. The biggest reason was the 4-hour looking bullish. The 5-minute, look at that. 5 minutes oversold in an uptrend. To me, this does want to continue up here on the 15-minute and on the 4-hour time frame. So again, Bitcoin looks good. Also, you just look at the 15-minute time frame. It's only 44 on the stock RSI. That could have another 8 to 12 hours of upside, really, on Bitcoin and really into market open tomorrow for the stock market. Yeah, I could see more upside for Bitcoin. So if my prediction is that sometime I believe by market open, Tesla or Bitcoin will be above 86,000 tomorrow in about 8 to 12 hours, whenever the market opens. So in 9 hours when the stock market opens, I believe Bitcoin will be 86,000 or higher. We'll see what happens, but that's just my prediction. So that just seems like the most likely scenario for Bitcoin. Anyways, I don't see any requests. Let me go over to Tesla. I do want to look at Tesla really quickly. So Tesla right now is just it's not doing much. I still haven't seen a good opportunity. I like to trade Tesla on the 5.5, 6 hour time frames. I sold my Tesla 2 months ago, and I haven't seen a great reentry. Right now, you're trading between 238 and 267 on Tesla. You have the 4 hour time frame coming down. If you can't hold 238 as support, which you've held twice now. If you can't hold that support, again, 215 is the next stop. If you look at the 6 hour time frame, it's kind of lackluster. 8 hour time frame is lackluster. I would be looking for more sideways price action for the rest of the week on Tesla based on what I see. A lot of these time frames are kind of just like neutral. But I would be long or short on Tesla right now. I'm still waiting for a macro entry a little bit lower, maybe around 215 or even lower than that. We'll see what happens. But for right now, Tesla, like to me, is still very, very neutral or slightly bearish. If you make 267 on Tesla, then I can be looking for if you break 267, get above it, and then make a higher low on the 4 hour time frame, then I'd be looking for long on Tesla. Until that happens, I mean, to me, Tesla's not in a bullish state right now. It's just not. But that is the one stock that I watch from the stock market. Aside from that, I don't really watch the stock market outside of Tesla. I mean, I believe that Tesla's like the Bitcoin of the stock market. So, that is just what I think. I'm pretty tempted at this point on OM, going back to OM, to open up a short in a few minutes here when I end the stream, to open up a short here on OM with a stop above 64 cents. I mean, to me, that seems like a good, even if there's a 70% chance you get stopped out, if you don't get stopped out, the money you make to the downside would be pretty significant if your take profit's like 38 cents. So I see a possible short brewing here for OM, unless you get a nice move to the upside here. So we'll see what happens. You could say that's a little bit of a rounded bottom. So I'm open-minded, but it's kind of struggling right now. The 15-minute is about to curve down on the RSI. That's a descending triangle. I mean, that is what it is. It doesn't look fantastic. So with that being said, that's kind of what I wanted to go over. If you guys have requests, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. I don't think there's anything crazy going on in the markets overall right now. That is just what we got going on. Now, if Bitcoin does pump, then obviously I think a lot of these altcoins could, even OM maybe, but OM overall, if you only look at OM, it looks bearish to me. That if I had to make a call on OM, I would say it's bearish, and I'd be looking for a short on OM. The trend's down, the trend's your friend until the end, and that's what I'd be saying is a move to the downside with technically a measure of 36 cents. So that's the last thing I'll say about OM. I'll leave it at that, but that's something I'd be watching throughout the night. And those are my 3 trades I gave you. A long on ACH, a long on Bitcoin, which I gave in the trading group about 8 hours ago, and then a short now on OM that I just called. So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong, but it's not about being right in this market. It's about the percent you make on each trade. So you could be wrong 7 out of 10 times, but as long as you win more on the 3 times that you're right, then you lose on the other 7 when you're wrong, you can be a profitable trader. So I would say my win rate's probably about 40 to 50%, but yet I still make money in the market. So you don't have to have an 80% win rate to be successful. You don't have to have a 100% win rate to be successful. You just have to have a win rate that's not, I would say, if your win rate's below 30%, it's probably hard to make money in the markets unless you're taking crazy entries. But it's not about, it's about the percent you make when you do win and the percent you do lose when you lose. As long as your losses are small and your wins are big, that's how you make money long term. I mean, that's obvious, right? It's not rocket science, but it's just I think people think that you have to have an 80% win rate to be successful, and that's not true. Not true at all. So, anyways, and I don't know why. Usually Mondays are not a good trading day, but like today, at least for me, it was a great trading day. It just was. But usually the best trading days of the week I've noticed are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, maybe Thursdays, Thursday mornings. But that is yeah. All in soon. You see, I don't know what that means. Yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of what I see going on for these altcoins. Most of them I see upside action. The ones that have been rug pulled, like OM, basically rug pulled. I see downside. So let's go to the 5 minute time frames for Bitcoin to kind of see what's going on, and then I'm gonna kind of wrap things up here. So Bitcoin right now in the 5 minute time frame, what are we doing? Do I see anything I love? Nah, not particularly. If you're not already in a long, to me, I wouldn't be entering along here. The 5 minute is oversold, but it never got completely oversold. So I would still look for a little more, another 5 to 10 minutes of downside action on Bitcoin, and then maybe 11:30 in 10 minutes we could be looking for a long on the 5 minute for Bitcoin. But overall, I mean, I still am long on the 4 hour time frame. If you're trying to scalp these smaller time frames, go for it. But right now, I see if you want to look at the 5 minute time frame, I'd be looking for something like this. So give it, honestly, probably even more than 10 minutes, another 10 to 30 minutes, and then sometime late in under an hour, 1 to 2 hours at most, I would say you could be looking for a move up to 86.2. And that's why I say that sometime around market open, you could be above 86K pretty easily. So we'll see what happens. But that is my next scalp would be the 5 minute time frame. I'm already into my long, so I won't be entering anymore. But that's a 5 minute scalp you could enter. And I wouldn't enter just yet. Again, the 5 minutes it's still not oversold completely. It's at 15 out of 100. But sometime in the next 30 minutes to 60 minutes, I see a move coming for Bitcoin to the upside. And we'll see what happens. And then, maybe in about 4 to 8 hours, you hit that measure move of 86.2. And then that's pretty close right before market open tomorrow. If it's closer to the 8 hour time frame, it is 11. So the market opens in like 9 hours. So, yeah, that's my call on Bitcoin. It's channels, not triangles. Interesting. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that either, but okay. So yeah. Well, yeah, this is the ball pen on ACH. I don't know what you mean by that. It's channels, not triangles. I have zero idea what that means. Anyways, that's it's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And I guess with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. I'm going to go through my watch list one more time, see if I see anything that sticks out to me. I did take a scalp on, I saw a falling wedge here on VTHO. I actually sold, where did I sell? I sold this wick right here, maybe right here. I sold it, it went down a little bit, then it went up for one more higher high, but now it's kind of struggling. And VTHO, it's something maybe to have on your radar, but overall, VTHO, it's kind of lackluster in my opinion right now. So I was out of the trade. I'm starting to take profits more aggressively in this market. Maybe that's why I had a good day today. I haven't done that in a while. But I mean, a win's a win. And I was up $20 on a small account. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take that and I'll do it. I mean, my account's like $300, just a fun account, just to see if I can turn $100 into a few thousand, 10,000 or something. That's just what it is. So if I make $20 in a trade, add 6% to my account, I mean, I'll take that. So otherwise, I would have given it all back because like initially got into the trade at 0.00285. So yeah, these are all altcoins that are just kind of crazy. So what I do is I go to Coinbase, I see top movers, and then I go look at top movers and see if they're at a top or if they're going to flag out and continue to the upside. And usually, whenever you see a coin on Coinbase with high volume or it's volatile or it's moving up a lot, those are the ones you can either look for a short on or look for a continuation to the upside, and there's movement in them. And whenever there's movement in a coin, obviously that's how traders make money. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what's been working for me recently. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of my strategy to look for coins that have potential in the market that day. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's what I got going on. I'm going to switch the TikTok live stream over to members only, and then I'm going to wrap things up here, pretty quickly here. So I'll be back live on Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. I appreciate you guys stopping by. But yeah, that's kind of what I see going on. I see Bitcoin going back to the upside here. Now, Bitcoin, you don't want to see us take out this low here, 85K. If you lose 85K, then maybe this 5-minute scalp is invalid. But I'm still going to stay long on Bitcoin throughout the night, unless you hit my stop loss. So we'll see what happens. And then my other trade was a short on OM. So I might enter I might be in 3 trades tonight. We'll see. But anyway, that's kind of what I got going on for the markets. So if you guys have any requests, let me know and I'll look at them. Otherwise, that's kind of what I would say for the live stream. I do see I again for market open, I see Bitcoin going likely to above 86K, and it is just is what it is. So if you guys have requests, let me know. I'm surprised we haven't gotten any. I don't know. Maybe everyone's sleeping because Bitcoin hasn't done much today. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But yeah, FHE was another coin that kind of was struggling. I don't see anything crazy with FHE. I mean, that's a lackluster. I wouldn't be taking a trade on that. You could say that this is a falling wedge here on FHE. Let me remove my drawings, then we'll go from there. This is actually also a new token, so it's going to be kind of interesting to trade. This is actually a falling wedge on FHE if you really want to look at this. I believe that there's a lot of opportunities in the markets tonight. I don't know why there's so many. Usually altcoins aren't this good, but I believe there's a lot of opportunities in the market to make money in altcoins. So to me, like, I don't know. It just looks like we could see a lot of potential gains here if you're willing to look in the right places. That's a falling wedge. If you hold 0.00549, I see a move coming back to the upside on FHE. And this one has been a very volatile mover, so it's been great to trade the last few days, or really ever since it came out. That's a measure move of about 68 cents. So again, FHE long possible right now. It's been great to trade. I've made money on FHE also the last few days. So, I mean, I don't know. The market just seems very fruitful right now if you're willing to look in enough places. If you haven't made money today in trading, then, I mean, I don't know. No offense, but I'm sorry. I think you're doing something wrong. You're over trading. You're doing something wrong. This is a falling wedge. These break up 68% of the time, and your measure move would be basically 68. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, that's another trade I would consider entering. And if by the books, you would win this trade 68% of the time that you enter it. So you got oversold RSI. The 15 minutes also oversold. The half hour is oversold. One downside of this trade is you are below the 200 on both time frames, the 15-minute and the half hour. I'm sorry, the half hour is actually above it. The 15-minute is below it. So the half hour is actually looking beautiful for a move up here. The half-hour time frame just got the 200 moving average because, again, this coin is like less than a week old. But anyways, that's another altcoin that I could see getting moved to the upside here. That's another opportunity in the market. So really, that's 3. You could be along on FHE, you could be along on Bitcoin, and you could be along on XCN. I think it was XCN. I don't even remember what trade I was in. And then a shorter in OM. They all look probable for a move to the upside or to the downside. We'll see what happens. But this is another trade I'd be looking for an entry on. Yeah. We still Hippo coin that I'm watching. I mean, to me, it's lackluster. I wouldn't be looking for trades on Hippo, honestly. I wouldn't. They kind of limit also how many what you can enter on Hippo because it's such a small market cap. So Hippo, like I'm watching it, I'd be looking for for a long here on FHE though. With that being said, guys, that's all I got. I'm gonna get out of here. As always, guys, my saying is this: guys, respect the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll be back live Monday. No, I'm sorry, Saturday at 11 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe and have a great rest of your weekend or rest of your work week, I guess. It is Monday night. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Trade safe. Always use a stop loss. right now the trend is up in crypto for most assets. So I'd be looking for longs in most assets, except for a few that I talked about. But if you guys want to join the trade group, link to join is in the description on YouTube. If you just click the watermark at the right-hand corner of my screen, you can get access to my trading group. So with that being said, that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by, and have a great night. Adios.